Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with another episode of SoundJack's Rambles. And today I'm joined by Alyssa.
Hello.
And today we are talking about Transformers Beast Wars. Actually, I'm wrong. It's Beast Wars Transformers. That's the actual title. It's Beast Wars and Transformers. Or if you're in Canada, Beasties, because
Beasties?
because
Are you
war
are
was
you
too.
are you are you sure? Are you absolutely certain?
I'm positive the wiki specifically states it was called Beasties in Japan because Beast Wars was too violent.
Beasties.
No, not Japan, Canada. Canada.
Beasties. Beasties. That is the worst name. I didn't think we could get to that point, but we did. We got to it.
Yeah, we did.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, yes, we are talking about another Transformer series, one that's a bit older. Actually, how close were we to the anniversary? Because I think we were pretty close.
Oh.
Yeah, not as close as I thought. There was it was a preview April 22nd in 1996, but the proper airing was all the way in September. So
Oh. Okay.
yeah,
Well, close enough.
yeah. Anyway, yeah, Beast Wars is the first spin-off series of the Transformers cartoon ever.
Mm-hmm.
The first show of Transformers after the original cartoon, besides all the ones in Japan. Uh, and we got Beast Wars, one of the earliest fully CG animated TV series ever produced.
I
Not the
think reboot.
first.
I think reboot was the first, right?
No, that might
No.
have been the first in America. I remembered reading it on the wiki. I think it's down here. Uh, no, it's actually the first fully CG animated TV show in the world is held by a series called Insectors, which was uh, which was produced in France.
Oh.
Yeah, it was French. But Reboot, I presume, was the first fully animated CG series produced by America or North America studios. Because
Damn.
because I think because I think the studios that did Beast Wars was in Canada, so it wouldn't technically be America's first, but
Right.
the first in the
Well,
English language. So,
but
well,
like Beast Wars was definitely like one of the first,
yes, and uh,
and
I'll,
it shows.
I'll spoil one of the potential onions. The show is definitely dated in its animation,
Yeah. Yep.
uh,
Yes,
but
it is.
I will say that does not diminish the quality of the story and the script of the show. It does not. Once you get into it, in my opinion. But before we actually get talking to that, how did we get introduced to this series? Alyssa, you start because I actually need to try to remember. Uh,
Well, so it's weird. Like, unlike with other Transformers series, now I don't know if I said this about animated, but I just remembered recently that I do remember seeing commercials for Transformers animated back in the day. I
oh, okay.
I didn't like watch it because I watched Disney Channel exclusively around that time.
Yeah.
But I do remember seeing commercials for it, so it was a thing I was aware of
Hmm.
when it was out. I didn't watch it while it was out, but it was a thing I was aware of. Unlike
Okay.
with Beast Wars, where I don't think I was aware of it at all until like college, maybe.
Because of me.
Yeah, because of you.
Yeah.
That's like Prime. I also feel like I wasn't aware of until you. I mean, I was obviously aware of the Transformers '80s cartoon before I met you, because like who wasn't? But um, Beast War. But like I know animated. I definitely saw commercials of when I was younger,
Mhm.
independent of you. So
Yeah.
completely unrelated. Like Beast Wars, I think I was aware existed before I was on this podcast. You know, some of the, like I just like through cultural osmosis, watching way too much YouTube for my own good. Like I eventually saw it was a thing. And it's I on the outset I looked at it and I thought this is a weird thing. Like Transformers as a concept is weird, but like Beast Formers as a concept is like bonkers. Like, all right, so they're animals, but they're also humanoid robots at the same time.
Boom, boom, boom.
What? So it's just the weirdest thing. Although to be honest with you, I'll probably get into more about this later about my own personal feelings about Beast Wars, but I actually feel like Beast Wars is kind of ingenious in that way. Like animals are something most humans, I'd argue, immediately attach themselves to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like Beast Wars has way more general appeal than Transformers, just like bland original Transformers, because
Mm-hmm.
like if you're gonna get into Transformers, you gotta be into cars and vehicles, which like A is generally, I mean this generally, a boy thing. So already you're excluding half of the market. And I'm not saying that girls didn't get into Transformers. There obviously are women who did, even back in the '80s. Like
Yes.
like I'm not here to say that there weren't any who didn't, but I am
Yeah.
saying that like it was.
Raksha about that.
Hmm.
Go talk to Raksha about that.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah,
I'm not here to say that
know,
there weren't
have you
any.
heard about Raksha?
No.
She was a very prominent female fan of Transformers who was incredibly vocal against Beast Wars when it came out.
Amazing.
That was like her thing in the fandom, like she hated Beast Wars. And also was
I
responsible for the first female toy. Yes? Transformers toy?
don't
The very-
ask me. I don't know these things.
Yes, yes, it was. Yes. It was a
Okay.
convention exclusive, but she was responsible for it. Anyway, off topic.
But my point is that like Beast Wars, like transform, like even if like we pretend that for a second that like there isn't a gendered division in terms of cars, like if we pretend for a moment that car things aren't, there's no like gendered marketing there, I feel like not everyone is into cars, you know? Like I still feel like you'd have a good amount of the population who just is not into vehicles, right? And like that's the same thing. Like even if you're a guy, you got to be into cars, and like not too many people are super into cars.
Uh-huh.
Even little kids.
Yeah.
Animals though, animals, everyone's into animals. Like it's very rare to find someone who's like animals, not my thing.
Yeah.
You know, so to me I think that Beast Wars is way more marketable than the regular Transformers to me.
Uh-huh.
Just on based on that alone. And like yeah, you still have the robot aspect to it, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
I know this is less about me me getting into it, but like more about G-Force in general, but it's still a point to bring up. But basically, short answer, I for all intents and purposes, me watching the show is my first real exposure to it. So
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. What about you, Michael?
From I don't have I don't know exactly when I watched it. I know when I would start considering myself a real Transformers fan was about the time of Revenge of the Fallen back in 2009.
Revenge of the Fallen came out 10 years ago.
Yes.
No, I'm so old. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. We're all
Came
old.
out 10 years ago. Oh my god.
Hey, I'll have turned 24 the day before this podcast comes out. So
You were saying about so Revenge of the Fallen, you had just gotten into Transformers, and that's when you first like encountered Beast Wars?
About that time, I started like finding out about the other series, and I started watching them all on YouTube because they were all on YouTube at the time.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember when I watched it or
Mm-hmm.
exactly what my initial thoughts were about it, but I mean, like, I remember watching all of the shows I missed: G1, Beast Wars, Beast Machines,
Mm-hmm.
Energon, RAD, 01, Armada, those guys. I got all those
Gotcha.
guys through.
You watched Energon?
I mean, like, it's part of the stuff, and like I only like, and
You're
I didn't.
too dedicated for your own good. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Also, I don't think at the time I truly realized how much of a crap hole that
I
was.
mean, yeah, like I can't, sit on any thrones here. I played Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, and no one will call that a good game. And I was like, this isn't great, but it's fine. It wasn't fine. It
Oh,
wasn't fine at
speaking
all.
of
It was a
uh,
terrible game.
speaking of Miguel, shout outs to Miguel. Mentioned that there is a free streaming site called Tubi that has some portions of different Transformers cartoons, including Energon, and I could just show you clips from that, just to be like, "Hey, look at this flaming hot
I
pile of
mean,
crap."
like, excuse me. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to watching Energon out of morbid curiosity. It wouldn't be something I'd seek out on my own.
No, precisely. This is
like
let's
I
do
would
it.
not. Oh, hold
Let's
on.
do it through the free streaming service.
Oh well, obviously I wouldn't pay for that. I'm not gonna. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna pay for Energon. You kidding me?
yeah,
Not
oh
at
yeah.
all. Okay.
That's not a good idea.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
we're
so you
we're
so you
so
watched it
off
on
topic.
YouTube back in the
Anyways,
day when YouTube actually had like.
shows on it, just all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was
Why?
my first.
How far YouTube has come.
And then I like still like kept up with it and like was aware of it, and I truly do love it and find it to be one of the best Transformers series, if not the best Transformers series currently out there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be upfront with that. It is the truth. Uh,
Damn.
uh,
Sorry, G1ers.
I, I mean, I didn't
Save your
say.
rants for Twitter, please.
I mean, I didn't say G1 was bad, though it is. But it's the kind. Okay, G1's the kind of bad you can enjoy. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
bad, but it's good. But it also, while having bad animation, it also there were several scripts that were inherently good with good performance from the actors.
It had its quirks, right?
Even
Like
though
it
it's
had
like
its it had
80s
its
cartoon plot,
good
like
moments.
there were good moments, and like you could overall enjoy yourself. Um, Again, I'm not saying it's fantastic or it's the best thing ever. I'm just saying it is like there is good. There is good there, but
Mm-hmm.
like Beast Wars for its time overall was great. Yes, the animation has dated substantially,
A lot.
but that was a goddamn miracle in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I feel like it was a big risk on the part of the creators too, because like insect toys, Toy Story. I mean, Toy Story had recently come out like a year
Yeah,
after, or not a year after, a year before, right? Because Beast Wars came out in '87 or '97. I mean, right?
96.
'96. Okay, yeah. So Toy Story came out in '95. So yeah, so this was
And
this was only a year after Toy Story. And Toy Story, I mean, Toy Story's dated quite a bit too. Like I don't know if you've watched
yes.
Toy Story in the last like couple of years, but woo man.
Oh yeah. I mean
Oh,
I
the
mean the
dog
toys
looks
are good.
awful.
I
What?
mean the toys are still good. The humans are atrocious, but
I mean,
the to-
I wouldn't say the humans are atrocious. The humans are just like there's some
oh,
uncanny
okay,
valley with
okay,
the
okay. The
humans.
dog. The dog was
The
the
dog looks awful. Like I'm sorry, Pixar. I know you
that's
tried, but the
yeah.
dog looks like crap. Anyway,
By the
we'll
way,
talk
this
about that later.
Beast Wars, $18 million for season one.
Which is a lot for a TV show, especially at the
Or
time too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
in 1996 to 1997, it cost $18 million to produce 26 episodes.
Which is a lot.
For this TV series, because that's how much it cost to do all of this.
Yeah.
But it was very good.
Yeah, like I said, big risk on the part of part of Hasbro and the heart of everyone else, because like I said, like it's early CG, and like animals, even though they're not people, animals are still hard to pull off in the 3D space, because like textures, you got to make the fur look kind of real, there's fur scales, everything like that. And I guess what's nice about it is that because they're like not really supposed to look like they are supposed to look like real animals, at least in the first season they're supposed to look like real animals, but like at least when they're in like robot mode, it's okay if they look a little shiny because they're robots. So it works that way, at least. But anyway,
plots.
We should do his plot summary.
Brief plot, non-spoilery plot summary for a show that came out 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The series even ended 20 years ago.
Yep.
Jeez. Okay. Miguel's gonna feel old. This
show is like younger than me, but like only just so. So it's
But this
fine.
was Miguel's series.
Good for him.
I don't know. This was the
I know he'll feel old. Anyway. Summary, right?
Yes, you do plot summary.
Okay, so plot summary. We're in the Transformers universe, so there's the Autobots and the Decepticons. Instead of the Autobots and the Decepticons this time around, it's the Maximals and the Predacons. You can probably tell which one's which. And so they are fighting, but then they crash land on a mysterious planet that who knows what it is. I know exactly what it is. I even called it right in the first few episodes, and Michael kept saying, "Are we sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, what else would it be?" And then it was like he didn't let up. He didn't let up until the friggin' episode that I can't say right now because it's the non-plot spoiler episode, but I'll talk about it in the spoiler episode. Yeah. But like there was he didn't let up until later in the series, let me tell you. Yep. And I was like, I knew it the whole time. I knew it the whole friggin' time. Anyway. So they crash land on this mysterious planet, and then they take on beast modes because the planet has energon that messes with their circuits, and now they gotta beat each other up and win the beast wars, and hijinks ensue, and there may or may not be a golden disc involved, and also aliens, and also some Ooga Booga people. Yep. Yeah. I mean, like, it's hard to, like...
Wars.
Yes. So that's like that's the Cliff Notes version. So overall, what do we think?
I love the show.
Cool.
Overall, it's a very good show. Not perfect, for sure.
Definitely not.
There are definitely parts that like there are a couple of plots that like they were going to do stuff with, but then they didn't like quite do them, and there's mostly with one aspect, like for the most part it's all good and dandy and like, oh, I get everything, and then there's like one thing that like you think about and like, but what was that really?
Yeah.
And then there's a couple other choices that are like,
there are some things. I have some words for some characters
on the
later.
greater whole, this was a very good show. This was an excellent show.
Mm-hmm.
Story, in terms of character, in terms again of the risks they did to do with animation, and on the whole, it paid off.
Yeah.
Because Transformers did not die after this series, and a lot of people thought Transformers was dead. This is why Hasbro didn't even like design the toys. They handed it over to the company they just bought, Kenner. And then they did this. And Hasbro was like, "Oh wow, good job. We can keep this line going for forever now." But yes, what are your thoughts then?
I'll be honest, this is probably the most fun I've had with any Transformers continuity, at least in terms of shows. I did enjoy animated, but I feel like, and of course I enjoyed Prime Wars. Am I right? No, I didn't enjoy Prime Wars. But like as far as all of the Transformers media I've consumed thus far, to their completion, I think that Beast Wars is definitely my favorite. I think it has a lot of character. I think it definitely appeals to me a lot more than it does than all the other ones do. Like I said, that whole animal appeal. I love animals, so I feel like as a kid I would definitely be into this.
Yeah.
I mean, would I? I don't know. It would be an interesting experiment to
Like
see if I would.
This was a show that was on TV when. Well, I
Like,
mean, again, Miguel got into this when he's the same age as us. But like, if this was on the air like a couple of years later, it happened to be on the Disney Channel.
oh
You,
yeah.
you
I
would,
feel like I would have probably watched it, definitely.
yeah,
It probably would have been in my daily rotation at the very least. So I think out of all the shows I've seen, this is the one who definitely appeals to me the most, and definitely the one that would have appealed to kid version of me the most as well.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, the animation is, flawed, but like for the time it looks really great.
Yeah.
And I definitely think it's a good show.
Yes.
And I liked it a lot. Yeah.
So moving on to spoilers. Again, spoilers for a show from 20 years ago.
Spoilers, Megatron's in this.
Yes.
Or is he?
More spoilers. There are 2 Megatrons in this.
Oh no! Spoilers, there might be 4 of them if you count the different bodies that Megatron takes.
Yes.
Okay, anyway.
You shouldn't, but
no.
Anyway, so let's talk about the characters.
Characters. So, do you want to go?
Let's just start off from the beginning.
In the beginning,
the Maximals consist of Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, Rat Trap, and then Predacon Turncoat Dinobot. And then the Predacons are Megatron, Scorponok, Pterosaur, Tarantulas, and Waspinator.
Yes, that's the OG cast.
Yeah, that's the OG cast. Who do you want to start with?
Oh boy. Megatron is a lot of fun.
Yes.
He has a Bond villain.
I'm sorry. That was a bad response. Yes.
David K kills it as Megatron. And by the way, I remembered that it was David K. I wasn't gonna forget this time around.
Good job.
I broke the curse of me forgetting David K is in things.
Yes.
He is Megatron, and he's great. He's wonderful. I think Megatron's like one of those villains you love to hate, but also like, I don't know, he's just so much charisma. Yeah, you can tell he loves being evil.
Yeah, he has all the charisma.
He's also like totally
like if he was a D&D character, he maxed out his charisma stat.
He would be seducing that dragon, and like if his Transmetal 2 form is anything to go by, he succeeded.
Oh, okay.
That might be a preview for a thing I'm working on the side project. Keep a watch on my Twitter. So, but anyway, yeah, he's great. He has a lot of charisma. He has like that Bond villain kind of thing. The animators definitely had a lot of fun with him. He's just a great villain.
Rival, I expect you to die.
He's a wonderful villain, and I love him. He's probably my favorite Predacon. Aside from Black Arachnia, I like Black Arachnia too, obviously. But we'll talk about it later. But yeah, as far as the OG cast goes, like,
yeah,
Megatron gets all the thumbs up.
Yes.
I think I might like him more than Prime Wars Megatron, which is my favorite Megatron before this point. But Beast Wars Megatron is just so much fun. Yep. Yeah. What about you? Who's your favorite Predacon?
I mean, Tarantulas is just so...
Tarantulas is like, you hate to hate him. Not that you hate to hate him, but you also love to hate him. But like he's
you love to hate him, but in a different way.
Yeah. He's like the kind of guy you're like, oh my god, like I don't like you, get out of here.
Like you like him like you like the Joker.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
like him because he's so twisted and far out that
Mm-hmm.
like how can you like he's so far out like how can you like this character his viewpoint is so weird but that's
Right.
like the appeal
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I
it's
see what you
not
mean.
and like you know early on it was a bit one-dimensional he was just like the creepy scientist guy that like
Yeah.
would rub his hands together and like talk about eating cannibalizing the maximals
Yep.
but then like things happen in the later seasons and he gets depth and his own motivations going on his
Yeah.
own motivations in the works and he gets to be very interesting though he never loses the weird saddest psychopath.
Yeah. Yeah. He is a very interesting character. And even though although I will say he's probably one of the few spider-based characters that I'm not that I didn't immediately love. Like I
Yeah,
like him, but like, because typically if it's a spider, I'm like +1 off the bat. But in this case, the spider part doesn't necessarily make him one of my favorites automatically, which is
also
interesting.
it's weird also it's weird because his original animation model had 9 eyes in his beast mode.
Ugh. Sorry. Okay. Uh. Although, well, I'll say unrelated, but I'll mention it now. Transmetal Tarantulas' model bugs the crap out of me because his spider mode is just not. That is not a spider. Like no. Like okay, look, I background. I spent when I was in college. I did my senior research project for biology on spiders. I looked at over 400 spider bodies and I became intimately familiar with her body parts for my science research. Okay, I can there like I'll put maybe I'll put up a picture. I'll put a picture up right now. There'll be a picture up of transmetals tarantulas just to prove my point. Like okay, so like the pedipalp part, which are the like the fangs of the spider, if you were, are just his legs, and it just doesn't look right at all. It's just not it just bugs me. So like immediately I think oh my god, I didn't even plan that. I didn't even plan that. Amazing. Yeah, so my point is that I might this might be unfair, but I might not like transmetal tarantulas just because his spider uh alt mode gives me that much angst.
Okay.
Like Transmetal, I don't know about Transmetal Black Arachnia. I might have to look at her again. Transmetal 2 Black Arachnia, I mean, I might have to look at her big thing again. That one might also give me angst, but like like I'll just say it like Transmetal Tarantulas is like I just can't deal with his alt mode, okay? Like you can't tell me that that's a spider. It's just not. Okay, anyway, rant over.
Also shout outs to Waspinator.
Waspinator! The real MVP of this entire show, to be
Yeah,
real.
yeah. Oh
Like,
yes.
like it's amazing how much. I mean, like, just this poor man. He's just always 2 weeks away from retirement, and he just can't get there.
No.
They just keep ruining it
Yeah. Yeah. He
every
gets
time.
medical fees and he'd be so close to retirement, but he just keeps piling on all his medical fees and he can't pay them off.
Exactly, and then he has to keep working for Negatron in a thankless job, and we're all just like, "Come on, you gotta get that retirement, man. You gotta get to that private island. We want you there, Rospinator. You don't need to
Yep.
work anymore."
No. No.
Yep.
Yeah, he's great. He's great. His
Good
voice
comic
is
relief.
yeah.
His voice is very unique, but it works. You would think he'd get annoying, right?
Yeah.
Like that voice could have been so easy to get annoying, but actually, I think it works. Like
But
it's
here's the
not too
thing.
annoying. Yeah.
That's why the writers wrote him getting destroyed all the time.
Oh,
Because
because they were afraid of it
they
getting
hated
annoying.
his voice, but he had to appear routinely enough, which caused him to be endeared to the fans. And instead of Scorponok and Pterosaur getting killed off at the start of season 2, it was going to be Waspinator, but there was such an overwhelming amount of fan reception to Waspinator on the early online fandom that they decide to spare Waspinator's life.
Oh my god, that's incredible. I mean, yeah, Waspinator's voice can get grating, I guess, but I don't know, I didn't mind it. I thought it was funny. Um, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
And
so
then,
amazing.
oh yeah, Scorponok and Pterosaur are there.
But like, who cares?
They're there. Maximals.
We're both just like, eh.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about them.
Maximals. Dinobot.
Why don't you talk about Dinobot a little bit? Because you really like him, so I'll let you take the reins on this.
Hell yes, Dinobot is the best character of the show, in my personal opinion. Because I mean, like, he's got the whole thing, like, where he's a defector from the Predacons purely because, kind of more so out of spite against Megatron, and then, like, the Maximals are the only other place for him to go to have, like, you know, backup.
Right.
It's really because they're actually bitter exes, by the way.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. But anyway, and then, like, he's, like, grating and, like, really butts heads with a lot of the other Maximals, which does not help Primal Stress at all.
No, it does not.
But, like, once he, but, like, we get, even in the first season, we get all the stuff about, like, despite him being allied with the Maximals, he is still a Predacon in his spark. He has his own code of honor that he believes is a true Predacon code of honor, which Megatron does not agree with, and the rest of the Predacons don't agree with, but that's what he believes. He sticks by it, and, like, there's a lot of interesting stuff with his character in regards to, like, going back to Cybertron eventually.
Yeah.
And then season 2 rolls around, and, like, wait, Megatron was right. And then he defects for a time, and then realizes how insane Megatron actually is, defects back to the Maximals, and to keep Megatron from destroying humanity in the future, sacrifices his own life to protect all of humankind. The arc he goes through the whole show is amazing, and there's so many nice moments, and like probably a slight part for sure is that, like, he quotes Shakespeare a bunch, and I love Shakespeare. Putting that out there, but honestly, it's used incredibly well. It's all specifically Hamlet, and Hamlet and Dinobot share a very similar, not arc per se, but, like, conflicts, agendas, probably a similar motivation. Yep. It's probably a similar morality set. There's the start of Dinobot's episode Code of Hero. There is a scene where he does contemplate suicide, and you could have thrown in the to be or not to be speech there, but they throw it in a different point where he was also considering suicide, because he's talking about the golden disc and wondering, like, if he's the master of his own fate or if fate is already decided for him.
Right.
And he's already contemplating suicide there, and it's just so friggin' great. It's all so good. It's great. It's Dinobot.
I can feel your emotions so much. Yeah, I definitely agree. Dinobot's definitely one of the most well-developed character in the entire show. Maybe even the most well-developed character in the entire show. I mean, like, he has conflicts. He has the most clear arc out of all the characters. He undergoes the most change, and he didn't even, like, physically change forms until he got reincarnated at the end. I guess.
Yeah.
He went through this major character arc, and he didn't even, like, become transmetal, really.
No.
So that to me is really interesting, and I think the Dinobot's arc alone probably is a good case for this show. Like, you weren't getting that from G1.
No.
Sorry.
You just got all of your favorites killed off randomly just because there's new product on the shelves and they had to get gone.
Exactly.
On.
Yeah.
It was because of the toys. This is because this was going on with the character. It was just character.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. But that's not to say the other Maximals are bad. The others are really good. Optimus Primal does a very good job of being a rookie commander dealing with a lot of nonsense.
Yeah, I find him a very interesting interpretation of Optimus Prime. He definitely has more of the war general,
Yeah.
war dude feel to him,
Yeah.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a fun character. I don't really know if I have much to say about Optimus Primal. He's just a good guy. He
Yeah.
has he still has a good strong moral compass too, but he isn't afraid
Yes.
also to like get his hands dirty, I guess. So that's cool as well. And like you
Cheetah.
wouldn't think a gorilla would be a cool character, but like I think they made it work for him.
Oh
So
yeah, absolutely. Cheetah and Rat Trap, the other two pains in Primal's side. Uh, Rat Trap mostly with Dinobot.
oh my god. Okay, you know what? Full disclosure, I ship them. Like who doesn't though? They have
Right?
such good chemistry on screen, okay? Like they both
There's
hate.
and the best part is they're both voiced by the same voice actor, so for most of the time the voice actor is just arguing with himself.
I know. I don't know. It's just I don't know how like I think they're both very very charismatic in different ways, and I don't know. I think Rat Trap and Dinobot have really good uh I envision them as like an on again off again couple.
Yeah.
Uh I mean, Dinobot recently got dumped Megatron. Rat Trap might be an easy rebound. It happens.
Yeah.
So anyway, Rat
I mean,
Trap.
like, considering how hurt Rat Trap is during Dinobot's betrayal.
Yeah, no, they.
That's,
I think in all seriousness, no, within the context of the show, they definitely are close.
yeah.
Like even though they argue all the time, you can tell that they're probably would probably consider themselves very close friends.
Yeah.
So, which is
Absolutely.
why, at least to me, I don't have any problem stretching that to romance.
Yeah.
In my own personal Beast
Yeah.
Wars verse.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like they seem to be the closest individuals that are like aside from Tigertron and Airazor, but like
Oh yeah.
at least amongst just the
I mean,
the
I'd also
Maximals.
say I'd say Primal and Rhinox are close, but that's probably a bit more because they probably knew each other for a fair bit before this whole Axelon thing happened.
Yeah, they seem more like just very good comrades, very good work
Yeah.
partners, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Um. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but Rat Trap's a lot of fun. His Brooklyn accent kills me.
Yeah.
I'm still impressed that Dinobot and Rat Trap have the same voice actor. You really can't tell.
Dinobot, Rat Trap, Waspinator, and Silverbolt.
I mean, that's an incredible range.
It is.
Honestly, which like makes that voice actor whose name I don't know.
Scott McNeil.
Scott McNeil, excellent guy.
Yes.
Excellent voice actor.
Yes.
In that case, because that's some range. But yeah, Rat Trap's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean Goku.
Called out.
Well, no, the voice actor voiced Goku.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see that now. Yeah. Well, yeah. He was at TFCon. Oh my god, what's his name?
Ian James Corlett.
James Corlett. Yeah, he was a good voice actor. Cheetor is a pretty good character. I mean, mostly he's just like the kid appeal character. Like he's kind of the radical guy. Not that bad, but like that kind of character.
And then and I'm like, that's where he is for the first 2 seasons, and then in season 3 he gets his edge. He hits
turns
puberty.
Into an ugly gremlin, and I hate it.
He becomes a creeper.
He becomes a huge creep. Okay.
Unfortunately.
I cannot handle Transmetal 2 Cheetor.
No.
He's the worst. Okay, he might be my least favorite Maximal.
Yeah.
Like pre-puberty Cheetor's fine. I don't mind him. He's fine. Yeah. Post-puberty Cheetor sucks ass and I hate him. I'm putting that out there. He's the worst.
Yeah.
The worst Maximal, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then Rhinox is there with his science and his.
He's
He's
just cool.
he's interesting because like he's the most well-rounded character, and like Primal's right, he would do a very good job as a leader, but he doesn't want to. Like
Yeah.
the only downside to him really is he's just slow because he's large and bulky and defensive, but he's also smart and wise. He's not a scientist that like rejects the mysticism of everything, but like he embraces both the science and mysticism.
Yeah. I think he's really cool. He's very gentle, which
Yeah,
is interesting because he's a rhinoceros.
yeah, he's a gentle giant type of dealio.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Definitely.
also wields the chain guns of doom.
I think he's the epitome of speak softly but carry a big stick.
Yes,
There we go.
indeed. And then we got other characters that were introduced: Tigatron, Airraiser, Silverbolt, Depth Charge, Tigerhawk, Black Arachne, Inferno, Quick Strike, Rampage, Ravage, and then Dinobot 2.
Dinobot's Revenge.
Yeah, Dinobot 2, Dinobot's Revenge.
Exactly.
Indeed. Uh,
So
I think you have things to say on Black Arachnia.
Black Arachne is great. I love her. I mean, she's a female character and she's a spider, so like I'm here. Not too sure I'm here for her bodaciousness though. Like a jury's still out on that one. Like
She's got nips. She's got straight up nips in her design.
Does. And I'm uncomfortable every time I look at her.
She's based off an exotic dancer.
Yep.
Specifically an Asian exotic dancer.
So yeah, she's a little uncomfortable design wise, but I think character wise I like her a lot.
Yeah.
She seems like she's just kind of trying to make it out on her own, you know? Like she's like you can definitely tell that her allegiance to the Predacons is like an allegiance of convenience in a lot of ways, and she's constantly trying to do her own thing.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why I'm like not too a little salty about Tarantulas is that Tarantulas is kind of a huge butthole to her. So I'm like, back off! Don't you dare! She's awesome. You don't need to mess with her. Yeah. And so then I'm really happy that she became Transmetal too. She's got a good man on her side. She's doing her thing. She's great.
Yeah. How do you feel about her relationship with Silverbolt?
At first I was like, and even now I'm not too hot on it, but I do like it better than her and Cheetor, because like, no, her and Cheetor, no. Cheetor needs to die in a hole, okay? He just needs to dig on a hole and just rot, okay? Anyway, sorry. But yeah, their relationship's fine. I think they have a really interesting dynamic. Definitely different from Airraiser and Tigatron. Airraiser and Tigatron were more like compatible, I guess. They weren't.
Yeah.
So
they're not like Silverbolt and Black Arachnia where they were like the opposites attract type of relationship.
Yeah. And
like so then we're born Tigatron and Airraiser both were born from the planet, both had stronger ties to nature than the other Maximals. They often spend a lot of time together out in the field doing work.
Yeah.
And even when they were abducted by aliens, they were like, I will love you forever and ever.
Yep.
And then they came back together in their married form of Tigerhawk.
Yep. It's their child, I guess. You could think of it as.
Their buff 800-ton Jesus child.
I love it. Yeah, so I think now I'm a little bit softer on Silverbolt and Black Arachnia. I think that they work fairly well together, and I do think that they did some interesting things with Black Arachnia in her, like, sort of her quest to try and fit in somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And this idea of, you know, being a bad girl at heart, even though she is maximal at the core. So, I don't know. Like, I think she's really great, and I'm glad that she, at the end, was a good guy, even though she's still, like, a bad girl, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But she...
Sorry.
Yeah. Although I will say Silverbolt himself is not one of my favorite Maximals. Like, he's good. Like, he's fine. He's just, you know, he's just a noble dude.
He is your stereotypical 90s, like, knight in shining armor male.
Yeah.
Can't hurt the ladies.
Yep.
will go very hard on the guys.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm not like that big into him. He's just I like his design. I think his toy and his robot mode are really cool. But personality wise, he's just kind of a little too milquetoast to me, I think.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting aspect of him though was with his relationship to transmutate. I think that was probably to me
Yes.
the one time I was like, okay, you know what, Silverbolt, you're fine. Like if there was any moment that like endeared me to him, it was that, because I thought that the way that they sort of had him see himself in transmutate was really interesting.
Yeah. The whole how, are we to destroy anything that does not fit our idea of perfection was a very interesting line coming from Silverbolt.
Yeah, because especially since like he was initially born as a mutation, so yeah, I think that they did a lot of really good things with him. And
that whole transmutate episode was very interesting.
It was, yeah,
because you've got transmutate who is by and large imperfect creation.
Yes.
Like even just due to the mechanical nature, even Primal and Rhinox are like its systems might kill itself,
right?
Just because of how extensively poor off it is.
Yeah.
Which is more so why they're like maybe we should put it in stasis lock.
Yeah.
Because of proper medical care, but like Silverbolt's still not wrong that like we shouldn't toss it away because it's a powerful entity that doesn't know how to control itself.
Right.
And then you get the two opposites connecting to it. Silverbolt, like we described, the knight in shining armor, but is also wants equality for everyone. And then Rampage, the sick psychopath, who's even sicker and psychopather than Tarantulas potentially. Because he's straight up Hannibal Lecter in a robotic crab suit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Who is drawn to it because of their shared pain that he can feel.
Yeah. Which is really interesting. And again, also the only time that I really felt for Rampage. Rampage.
Yeah,
the only time I really felt for Rampage too. Rampage for the most part was just kind of like skeevy and not really too engaging for me in terms of villainy. But I think he was interesting because at the same time, even though he was really skeevy, he wasn't like he wasn't completely. He wasn't like super like jazzed into the whole Predacon thing. He was being kept captive, so
yeah,
it added some interesting dimension to him despite that. Yeah,
they failed, but he did it. And then Rampage's relationship with Depth Charge. Is
Depth Charge, aka Batman.
Or Batmanta Ray.
Wouldn't it have been funny if like Depth Charge had like manta ray shaped like boomerangs, like the batarangs, but only they're manta rings? That would have been great. You know what? I would have totally been like, you know what, guys? I would totally have encouraged them to do it despite the potential copyright infringement. Like, just do it, man.
If Depth Charge was in Transformers animated properly, I feel like that would have been a thing.
Like Batman, like manta rangs, like of course, come on. Anyway, Depth Charge is interesting. Again, not a maximal that I'm like too into because he basically just had his one bit and that was trying to hunt down Rampage, but I mean, like, he was still interesting even with that. I think his final confrontation with Rampage was really cool, and I especially was even interested in the fact that Rampage kind of let Depth Charge kill him, which was like,
yeah,
damn, that's kind of dark for a kids show. Like, ooh, okay.
Yep. Indeed.
Like, damn, but So like, yeah, even the characters that I'm not too jazzed about tend to have really interesting things going on underneath, except for Scorponok and Pterosaur. Those guys just snore.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Honestly, like season 2, like season 1 definitely had episodes, but like season 2 really hit the stride with the character stuff.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Season 1 was a bit more so like the Saturday cartoon of like, oh hey, look at this single episode contained plot that is happening with maybe
Yeah.
episodes encouraging a plot that will be resolved in the final episode of the
Right.
episodes of the season. Whereas season 2 and 3 definitely end up being a lot more. I mean, it's not like season 1 itself was like necessarily in uncontiguous, but like it's more so in 2 and 3, especially also probably because there were only 13 episodes apiece for the last 2 seasons, as opposed to
yeah. So
fill out the runtime.
yeah, because like the problem with Pterosaur is that he's just basically discount Starscream, and like we don't need another Starscream in our lives. Like Starscream's enough. Like.
And then you also have Tarantulas and Black Arachnia,
who are also like defecting against Megatron. So it's like, how many Starscreams does this one guy have? And also, how has Megatron even had an army if so many people are trying to overthrow him? Yeah. Like, come on, man. Chain of command.
I mean, technically, Waspinator has wanted to overthrow Megatron before.
Yes.
He's not even come anywhere near close to trying.
No.
But like Scorponok was the real loyal boy in the first season.
Yeah.
Though the thing with him was he was a bumbling coward like Waspinator.
Mm-hmm.
He was the scientist like Tarantulas, and then he was the loyalist like Inferno would come to be when Scorponok phased out. Like Inferno had some loyal moments in the first season, but he wasn't there too much.
No.
But like the loyal fire and drone, loyal to the colony and queen above all else.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
I mean, like, again, Inferno's also not one of my favorite Predacons in the same way that Scorponok kind of slides off my brain. Like, I mean, like, Inferno's definitely more interesting than Scorponok was, but
yeah,
I don't know. He's still just, he kind of has that one bit and rolls with it. Same thing with Quick Strike, honestly. Like, he just has the cowboy thing, and then, like, he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot him, and that's pretty much it. So it's like,
yeah, that's fair.
At least that's how I feel. Not that I don't enjoy it when they're, not like I just get tired of them or anything, or I hate them as characters.
And then there's Ravage too.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's just Ravage, right?
The G1 Decepticon that came back. Oh, also Starscream was here too. So.
Yeah, just body snatching people, not like he does.
Yes, he does. To overthrow. Yeah. Pterosaur is even worse discount Starscream because literal Starscream's in this show.
I know, right? Why did they even bother? Is my question.
You know what's funny?
What?
Same guy voiced both Pterosaur and Starscream.
The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
Nope.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't know.
Like the Maximals and Predacons talk about like the Autobots and Decepticons being their ancestors. I don't know how that works per se, but like if there is lineage, Pterosaur is a direct descendant of Starscreams.
Probably, yeah. I believe it.
Just saying.
Is there any other characters we wanted to talk about? I think we've touched on most of them, if not all of them.
Not all of them, but like all the ones. No, the only other ones are the Bok, were the aliens who.
Oh yeah, I mean. Yeah, they exist. They serve as a pretty good point of intrigue for season 1. But honestly, I don't know if the Vok plotline ever really truly paid off in a good way.
That's the thing I was talking about them, like when it comes to like the overall plot of stuff, like that didn't get resolved like well.
Yeah.
Like we get like that Earth was like an experiment ground for them. And they're like the peacekeepers of time and whatnot. They've got like this weird, these weird machines that like do certain things.
Yeah.
But like it's never like fully tied together.
Yeah.
Like where the Vought come from, what their specific plan with Earth was.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's been other things like what story editors intended and some like other fiction has suggested plots, but it wasn't from the original creators themselves.
Right.
And just
like it
like
seems
there
like
are answers that exist, but none of them are expressed directly in the show. And then
Mhm.
as far as this show can go, it's the question of how of what to take away from it. Like
part of
season yeah,
me
the plot were very, like you said, a very interesting plot point, very good plot point, especially trying to destroy the Earth, Megatron and Optimus making the truce, and all of that interesting intersectionness going on with
Mhm.
those things. Those were great. That was like Megatron. That was peak Megatron in those episodes.
Yes.
Peak
Or
Megatron.
yes, as you were.
But yeah, the Valk is like, yeah, we're here. I'm not sure why, but we're here.
Yeah. And like I think part of me wonders if the whole Vok thing was less world building and more trying to I know what word I'm trying to use. Obfuscate, is that the word? I think that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were trying to disguise the fact that it was Earth. Like, I wonder if the Vok was really only there as a misdirection technique rather than like an actual cool element that was baked into the narrative, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like they wanted there to be this big twist, and the big twist was that they were on Earth, but they had to like not make it obvious that was Earth, so they like added this whole subplot about them experimenting on Earth with Energon, and then it's like, well, it can't be Earth if there's two moons, and also crystals, and also aliens that aren't humans. So, yeah, that's what. So that's. I mean, like, and I'm not trying to say that the Vok wasn't interesting by that point, but I have a feeling. Like, if it was revealed to me that was the main motivation for why the Vok exist in this show, I would believe it.
Mm-hmm. I
It,
agree with. I agree. I like.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you didn't have that whole twist reveal aspect as part of the show, reviewing the Vok doesn't really like mess up too much in terms of the actual actual core of the story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And also, having Energon on the planet serves as a good excuse for why you can't have them transforming too often in the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Or give them a reason to transform.
Right. Yeah.
Or so.
Yes.
Um,
So that's yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so I think we've actually kind of touched on like some of our favorite episodes here moments as we've been talking about the characters.
Yeah,
I
like
think we talked about
Code of Hero.
Code of Hero is a great episode. I think Transmutate is also a great episode too, and we've touched on that one. Also, I want to give a shout out. As much as I don't like Transmetal to Cheetor as a character, I do really like the episode in which he was introduced. I think it was an interesting thing. It was definitely a good metaphor for puberty. That wasn't very subtle, but I think they handled that well. I think the whole, I think also all the episodes that involved Black Arachnia questioning herself were also really good too.
Yeah.
So there's some of the episodes that I thought were great. And like I said, I think we've touched on why I thought those were great too.
Episode that we can't leave without mentioning, the Low Road.
Remind me what was in that one.
It's the episode where Rhinox gets infected with the virus and he's sneezing Energon.
Oh my god! Okay, yeah, I remember that
at the
one.
end of the episode, he has some wild beans, and then he farts and defeats Megatron by farting.
Oh boy! Oh yep. I remember that.
This must be the most humiliating defeat in my entire career.
I mean,
yes.
No, that was a funny episode. It was probably the most Looney Tunes episode.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine. Which is fine with that. I like the Looney Tunes, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
it was a weird episode.
Oh, indeed. I also want to bring up uh, the episode I told you about, Dark Glass, that was cut. That would have explained why Dinobot 2 has the original Dinobot's memories. I almost called him G1 Dinobot. The original Dinobot's memories, and that would have been so great and would have done so much more with that character art rather than being like, wait, why is Dinobot now in Dinobot 2's head?
Yeah, I think that also makes Dinobot 2 less of a sore point for me. Because, like, I remember when I first watched Code of the Hero, I was like, I'm really glad they killed him off in the way they did, and I feel like if they brought him back, it would cheapen it, and then they brought him back, and I was like, why? I literally just said this to you. I literally just said, I don't want him back, and they brought him back. Thanks, I hate it.
I mean, they did bring him back. They, like...
Yeah, I mean, like, he's not the same...
Megatron's ideal version of Dinobot back, which was also... Still... Which really was more so he brought the Dinobot clone from season 1 back.
My point still stands, that it does still kind of cheapen the fact that he died in the way he did.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like the episode that you're talking about would have definitely sort of redeemed that in my eyes, you know? It would have served a purpose, right? It would have been like... Yes. Like, it would have taken this... Like, because I get it, the meta reason why he's there is because they have toys to sell. Like, I understand that part of it. But at least with that cut episode, it would have actually made sense within the story why he's there. Mm-hmm. At least they would have actually done something with it. As opposed to in the final product where he's just kind of there, and I'm just like, And he's so boring! He's just a Terminator.
I'll give you that.
He's Dino Terminator, and I'm just like... So yeah, maybe I hate Transmetal 2 Dinobot more than I think I do. Mm. Maybe not hate, but like, he's just a disappointment. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Oh. I just remembered.
What?
One of the main story editors on Beast Wars, Larry DiTilio, passed away recently.
Right. Oh, I guess
that was mid-March. So yeah, we should talk about that because he was quite important.
I mean, I probably don't have as much to say about it as you do, so I'll just let you talk.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot we had exactly about him known before his passing. Mm-hmm. But outside of Beast Wars, he was responsible for She-Ra along with J. Michael Straczynski. As well, who credited him as the brains behind much of the He-Man mythos. Also notable for author of Masks of Nyarlathotep, probably the most well-regarded Call of Cthulhu campaign. Mm-hmm. That worked on other shows with Straczynski, and again was along with Bob Forward, main story editors on Beast Wars. Would regularly interact with fans on alt.toys.transformers use group when that was a thing, back when the internet was starting up. And wrote several of the episodes. Most of the episodes he wrote were the Vok episodes. The Other Voices two-parter, the Other Visits two-parter, Aftermath, the start of season 1. He also wrote Deep Metal, which was Death Charge's introductory episode. He even wrote an episode for Animated, the episode Predacons Rising, where Black Arachnia turns a wasp into Waspinator.
Yep.
But the biggest contribution that we must give this man is the episode The Spark, which he wrote, was responsible for such a substantial part of the Transformers mythos. The fact that every Transformer has a spark and that is their life force. He established that in the fiction. That episode established the spark as a thing, and that has appeared in literally every other continuity since, and has been retroactively applied to the Generation 1 cast even. Mm-hmm. That it was that they all had sparks, and it was retroactively stated that instead of being dead for 4 million years, that they were in stasis lock for all the time in the G1 cartoon before they woke on Earth, and yeah, he's so important to this series for sure.
Yep, and he will be missed.
Yeah. I've posted the pic on my Instagram on the 16th day after he passed, of Rhinox holding a blue marble and then just quoting the Rhinox's what Rhinox said about a spark. When a spark goes online, there's great joy. When one is extinguished, the universe weeps. And I think that was very appropriate.
Yep.
For that. Yeah. But are there any other moments or things or episodes that you want to talk about?
Not really. I think we've touched on most of them.
Okay.
I mean, there was like little moments. Oh, wait. The dirtiest joke in all of Transformers. So it was Silverbolt. It was on patrol. He was on patrol with Black Arachnia, and then when they came back, Rattrap was like, "Did you guys discover any new positions?"
No. You're slightly misremembering it.
Oh no, what was it?
This was before Black Arachnia joined the Maximals.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it was before she joined the Maximals properly. It was before the Maximals really knew about Silverbolt's relationship. Mm-hmm. And Silverbolt comes back and is like, and you're right about what he said. Hey, how's the scouting patrol? Find any new positions?
Yep.
Yeah, scouting the enemy, right? Find any new positions?
Which honestly, oh my god, that was the dirtiest joke I think I've ever seen in all of Transformers. Like, damn.
Besides the fact that Rattrap openly suggests that that there are strip clubs on Cybertron,
right? Which I'm sure he's been to all of them.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah. That's one moment. Like I literally I think we had to pause it, or at least we had to pause the video because I was like, what? I was like flipping out. Oh man.
Yep. And I think I talked about all the episodes. Yeah. I wanted to get off my chest. But yeah. So I guess it's time for the onions.
Yes, and I think we've touched on a lot of them.
Yeah.
I know the Vok we talked about, and I think both of us were kind of about how it played out. I talked about my onion with Transmetal to Cheetor and that I hate him. Yeah. Mostly because he's just creepy. Like, he literally was like, he flirts with Black Arachnia, who, by the way, already is in a relationship, and he also, makes, he made, weird gestures that I won't describe right now because this is, supposed to be a family-friendly podcast, at least for the most part. But, suffice to say, it was, I just had to shake my head. I don't like him. There's that whole thing about Dinobot 2 being kind of a little unfortunate because it kind of it cheapens Dinobot's death a little bit, which is a shame. Pterosaur's a bore, but we already touched on that. I'm trying to think. Is there any other onions that I didn't like?
One thing, the animation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, we touched upon this a bit before, but it's mid-90s. It's one of the earliest fully animated TV shows. Honestly, one of the first fully animated CGI animated things that ever existed.
Yes.
So animation is rough, and like we said, it is dated, especially season 1. However, as the series progresses, you can definitely see improvement in a lot of regards.
Yeah, and
water especially gets a lot better as the series goes on.
Hell yeah.
Shadows become a thing, and they're good. Some of the models get a lot better. I mean, the Transmetals and the Transmetal 2 ones are quite good because they're toy accurate for the most part, and they're also don't have to be actual animals.
Yeah.
But even then, something goes on in that, like, even the Maximals and Predacons that retained their season 1 bodies seem to have gotten like an upgrade.
Yeah.
There's just like better lighting or shading or something. I don't know the technical animation terms for that, but like they do something right.
Mm-hmm.
They do something more to make it more right. And
Yeah.
it works. It definitely works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I do think that if you're gonna watch this show, you know, be prepared for it to look a little dated.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I honestly can't say how well it looked at the time because I wasn't watching it at the time. But I think in comparison to other TV shows of the era that were all CG animated, like it's pretty. It's on a high rung, you know.
Yeah.
And I think they did a lot with what they had, and I think that's really what carries it through, you know.
Yeah.
And that's because, like, I mean, Toy Story is still very dated, but like animation wise, but I watch it fine, you know. Like I'm not sitting here like, wow, the animation sucks. Like Toy Story is just such a good story and has such strong, vibrant characters and has such a great storytelling that it kind of makes up for it. And I think that's honestly what Beast Wars' strength really is. Like it yes, the animation is dated a lot, but I think that its quirkiness and the strength of the writing really make you see past it all. And that's what I really like about Beast Wars. But I do still think the animation is impressive for the time. Mm-hmm. And I think that the cheesiness, and I can see if someone gets really distracted by the animation quality, because it is a little rough.
But like I say, it does get better.
It does, yes.
If you're able to push through it for a bit, you'll eventually get used to it, and then eventually it will improve.
Yeah.
Because like there are definitely episodes where there's a couple episodes you can tell they're trying things.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are things that stay, and then there are things that don't stay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like camera angles or how to frame a shot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But they learn and they improve and make it better.
Right.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah, I think we talked about most of the onions already, so I don't have much else to say.
Yeah, same here. Oh, one more onion. I'm not the fondest of the theme song. It's not bad. I just find it like super cheesy.
Mm.
But not unlike the kind of cheesy that I'm like, yeah, I'm in even though it's cheesy. I'm just kind of like, really? This is so 90s rock.
Yeah.
It is memorable. I will give it that. It's not like some other TV shows that we've talked about on this channel where the theme song is just kind of a snooze fest. But
yeah,
I wouldn't say Beast Wars' theme song is like one that I'd like add to my Spotify playlist.
Mm-hmm.
If that's a good ranking. Like, I have the Pokemon main theme song on my podcast because of course I do.
Yes.
And that theme song rocks.
Yes.
You know, like, or like, oh my god, what are the theme songs? Like DuckTales' theme song, that one's good. Mm-hmm. Care Bears. Okay. Have you ever watched the Care Bears show?
I have not. I think I did when I was very young, but I don't remember much.
So my sister was really into Care Bears when she was really young, and we had these Care Bear VHSs, and the theme song is so catchy.
Okay.
I can still sing it for you right now if I wanted to. It is that catchy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do it right now, but like I could if I wanted to. Okay. Beast Wars, I don't know, it just doesn't have that pop that I like with my theme songs.
Yeah.
It's not the kind of theme song that or it's not like an anime theme song, you know, where it's like, yeah, and the music could like honestly stand out on its own as an actual pop song, which some animes actually do have like legit pop acts do their music.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if like an anime version of a theme song would actually hit on the radio in Japan, because I'm not that well versed in Japanese like pop scene or whatever, but I do really like. But my point is that yeah, Beast Wars' theme song isn't too good. in my opinion. It's fine. I like it, but it's not like a top tier theme song for me.
No, yeah.
Okay, so I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up?
I think everything's been touched on of most note.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so overall, like we said before, Beast Wars, great show.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Potentially best Transformers show that exists.
Yep. You know, asterisks near there, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely my favorite as of this recording.
Indeed.
So.
But hopefully you had seen it. If not, I encourage you to go get it and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, why can't I think of how to get out of this?
Ask me where people can find them.
Yes.
Find me. I mean, where people can find me. Where can people find themselves? I don't know.
I don't know. Going into their inner mind and figuring out who they are, what their purpose in this universe is.
Very existential.
Can people find you?
Can people find me?
Yeah, where can people find me?
Oh, okay. I was just wondering, I thought you didn't hear the where. I was like, yes, you can find me. You just would have to search. You can find me on Twitter at The Rational Dove.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. And as of the time this podcast goes up, you can also find us at RDSJ Gaming, our new gaming.
Oh, that's right! That'll be posted by then. Oh my god. Okay, can we spend a couple moments talking about that right now?
Yes.
I've been meaning. Okay. So our gaming channel just recently launched. Michael probably has already made a video about it.
I've already made a video.
Made an official announcement. It has been in the works since I think a year at least at this point, almost a year.
We bought I think it was summer.
Yeah, it was summer. I started doing recording summer 2018 for
Crash.
We were
thinking about this for quite a while.
This has been in the works for a long time, and we're really excited to have it live. We hope that you guys enjoy it. The first episode should be out, and that should be Transformers
2 number 1.
Yep.
Actually, by the time this goes out, the first episode of your series, just playing Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy, will also
not the whole Insane Trilogy, because that would be too long. Just the first game in the Insane Trilogy is just me, and then the Transformers playthrough will be both of us.
But I'm one mostly on the controller.
Yep, and then I'm just chatting it up, I guess.
Yep.
Mostly making those jokes, you know.
Yeah, we'll upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and 2 episodes of both series will be going up each week until we get to our new series. But the schedule is probably going to be the same. We may play with things just to see what happens with the views, but we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah. Yep.
So that, at the moment, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday is our schedule.
Yes, please go check it out.
Go sub to the
RDSJ channel. It's really great. I'm really excited. I hope that you guys enjoy it, because we're really excited to finally be able to talk about it.
Absolutely.
It sucks having to have been sitting on it for so long.
And a new thing. Just for me, I do now have a Ko-fi account.
You did? You made it right now? Or is...
Well, it's going to be made by the time this podcast goes out, hopefully.
Okay.
I still have to do it, but I intend to put a Ko-fi account out there instead of a Patreon account, because I have not done anything in upkeeping my Patreon account. But if you still want to support me, coffee would be probably the best way for you to do that. You just send me a solid chunk of money if you want to. There's no need for you to do that. I'm just saying, if you want to help support the channel financially, that would be the way to do it. But that is all we have to say. So thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack and Alyssa signing off.